check.
You just keep talking.
I've actually never done an interview before, Ryan.
Really?
I forgot my name. I'm Cosplay, and I do just about anything cosplay-wise. I love video games, movies, TV shows, science fiction, fantasy. I cover a lot of stuff. It's insane sometimes when I think about it. Overwhelming. I started cosplaying in 2011. It was either for one of the Marvel films or The Hobbit. I don't remember which one it was, but it was really close. I did a closet costume for Black Widow. And then, so it was either that one or Galadriel. And I went to Goodwill and grabbed a wedding dress for Galadriel, made myself a cape, and got a stupid cheap blonde wig. It was so bad. So bad. It was terrible. But yeah, that's where I started.
Galadriel, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty interesting. We were just watching Lord of the Rings last night. So
Yeah, we were.
Simping over Galadriel the whole time.
It was one of my first cosplays, yep.
How did that one turn out? Did it turn out pretty good?
It was terrible.
Was it terrible?
It was so bad. It was a high neck wedding gown. It was a gorgeous wedding gown, and I was going off of the trailer for The Hobbit. So where she's in the gray robe, turning to talk to, I don't remember who she was talking to. And I was like, oh, I love it. It's great. I'm gonna find a wedding dress just like that so I can do that costume. And I did not. It was vastly different, and I was a novice sewer at the time, so the whole rest of the gray turned out, it was very bad. It was very, very bad, and it was a very yellow wig that only came down to here because I didn't know how to do wigs, and
Do you find yourself doing that often, like going back and looking at some of the older stuff and being like, what the hell was I thinking? Like,
I like to go back and look at things and go, how much I've improved since then, because, I mean, I'm really hard on myself, because, you know, being a creative, I guess, you want to be hard on yourself and you're not keeping up with things and your work could be better, and then I just go, wow. I remember when I, hot glued felt question marks to a really cheap vest and got a bowler hat, and that was the Riddler, you just kind of, it's fun.
Like, how big was it when you first started? Like, was it still sort of a niche thing, or was it at that time kind of had it gotten a little bigger at that point?
So when I started cosplaying, it was definitely very big with the anime community.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of anime, and I personally didn't meet any other types of cosplayers other than anime until probably college. So it was 2014-ish by the time I found out that there were other people who did the other cosplays. And it was a very small, very niche community at the time, just of anime. And then Denver Comic-Con, when it was Denver Comic-Con, that was massive to me because I started off in small cons with just small communities of people who'd known each other for a very long time. To Denver Comic-Con, I went all by myself. My very first big con by myself, drove 8 hours.
What?
Tired.
You said that when it was Denver Comic-Con, how has that changed? Has it just evolved, or is it?
Denver Comic-Con got a lawsuit.
Oh, really?
They had to change their name. I actually just found out about this. I didn't know why that happened. But they had to change from Comic-Con to... I don't remember. They had to change to something, and then they got bought out by another company, and they're now the Fan Expo, so they're Denver Fan Expo.
You know what? I think I actually did hear about that, because I think there's a lot of people who got sued because there's one Comic-Con, and they're like, no, you can't use that word. We're like the Super Bowl Comic-Con. So.
I think it's New York Comic-Con and San Diego Comic-Con are fighting right now over because one of the two of them was the first. I have no idea. So when I started, it was, I did a lot more charity costume work, and so there's a lot of infighting in the charity costume work community. Oh my gosh, it is bad. There's a lot of drama that doesn't need to be there. But I mean, it's understandable, there's Disney wants copyright over, and control over its characters, and you have, I think like Sony came after a couple people occasionally over stuff because they wanted to send their own face character worker. It was a lot of drama for no reason.
Like, in what ways have you seen the community evolve since you started? Like, what are some differences now between now and what it was when you first started?
I think there's a larger online community now versus like 2011, and I think a lot of that had to do with COVID. I think there were so many people that were introduced to cosplay because of COVID, and it was a huge issue when I started. There was a huge stigma against people who cosplayed. Like, you know, they were the weird kids, they were the people you avoided all the time, and now it's really normalized, I think, because of TikTok, because of Instagram, and with the online community blowing up over COVID, it really helped, I think, in a very positive way, and there's also a lot of negatives to that as well. But I think it's definitely grown to be a much more positive environment than it was back in the day.
So a lot of gatekeeping back in the day?
Oh my gosh, there was so much gatekeeping. So much gatekeeping. I was at Denver Comic-Con in my Riddler, and I did a female gender bent Riddler. I probably got stopped every 2 or 3 minutes and got explained to me by a specific type of person that my costume was wrong and I had no business doing that. There was a lot of gatekeeping, especially with Star Wars in more recent years. That's been really big. I think the most positive environment, though, for cosplay when I first started was the Marvel community. They were very positive, very accepting. Anything was, you know, you could closet cosplay and it's nowhere near accurate, and they were so accepting and so positive and supportive of each other. It was really nice, and I think now that's changed, and it's DC now. That's the super, you know, accepting, like, we're here, it's okay.
Like, what's your favorite convention to go to? Like, what's, out of all the ones that you've ever been to, what would you say is your favorite?
I think my favorite convention is C2E2, the Crown Championships of Cosplay. Wow, that is a hard word to say. Crown Championships of Cosplay in Chicago. That is one of the best I've been to. It's a massive con, though. It's massive, and so many amazing creators, artists. I mean, the vendors are absolutely phenomenal. Like, it's a great con.
So I almost completely neglected to ask who you're cosplaying as today.
Oh,
because there is a cosplay going on right now.
Yeah.
Sort of. It's a modified cosplay, but
yes. I'm cosplaying Claire Redfield from Resident Evil.
Nice. And why are we cosplaying Resident Evil?
Well, we're going to be doing a fan film. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah. You don't play a lot of horror games, though, do you?
Nope. I am a chicken.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Not my thing.
Is that like how often do you hear of that kind of thing happening? Like, where cosplayers get to kind of do that sort of thing?
Oh, doing fan films. Oh, I hear it about fan films not very much. I think the most I hear about it is with the Harry Potter community, because there's so many people that do fan films from there. I actually work with a guy right now who is in a Star Wars fan film, and he's a big tall guy. Keith's great. I love him. He's fantastic. He's like, yeah, I got to play the big scary guy. And he's never done cosplay, but it made him very interested in the community just by being a part of the fan film. So,
have you met a lot of interesting people along the way? Like, who are some of the more interesting people that you've met?
Oh my gosh, I've met so many amazing people through cosplay, and I hate to name anybody because I've met so many. I don't want to forget anyone. I think my favorite people that I've met, like celebrities that I've met, are like Gal Gadot and Gigi Edley from Farscape. Let's see, Pedro Pascal. I met him. Did an interview. Kind of watched him do an interview live, and that was really fun. Got to kind of chat with him in the chat room. That was fun. Yeah, there's so many creative, wonderful people in the cosplay community, and I think, especially with COVID, I actually connected more with fellow cosplayers, because I think cosplay, we get a little bit... With cosplay, we tend to think like it's kind of just us, because we're in our bubble in our house, or, you know, we're at a photo shoot and it's just us, and sometimes it feels really isolating, and then you get online and it's like there's all these people who do the same thing and they can help you, and it's just a wonderful community, and everybody's rabbit trail, sorry.
Oh, it's alright. What's your all-time favorite cosplay that you've ever done? Wonder Woman.
My favorite cosplay is Wonder Woman. That one is my favorite.
I had a feeling that's what your answer would be, but I have to
Yep.
ask. I have to ask that question. Like, there's a lot of different versions of Wonder Woman. Was there a particular version that you prefer?
Oh my gosh. I think my favorite version of Wonder Woman I actually haven't done yet, and it is the Rebirth Wonder Woman with like the gold outlines for everything. She's on my list. I'm going to be doing her next year. But my favorite of the ones that I've done currently is the 1984. That is my current favorite Wonder Woman outfit. Linda Carter's pretty good too.
Well,
She's pretty.
can't leave out the classic Linda Carter. Yeah. Well, is there a special message or anything that you'd like to say to the community out there?
Be nice to each other. I don't know. I honestly have no idea other than just don't forget that you are seen and appreciated and loved in everything that you do, and there's always somebody out there that appreciates you more than like how you feel people do. That's it. That's a very important thing to remember. Alright, if you would like to support the Resident Evil fan film, the link is down below for Brood Images on Patreon.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Perfect.